Hi there, it's Elise Kopp, your realtor here in Las Vegas. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me here on my channel. If you're new or you've been here before, either way, really happy to have you here. Now, for today's video, I wanted to take some time just to share some pros and cons to living in a very popular Summerlin 55 plus community here in the Valley. And the 55 plus community we're gonna be talking about is Regency at Summerlin. Now, if you are new to my channel, just a little bit about myself. My name is Elise Kopp. I'm a realtor and a Vegas native here in the Valley. I do specialize in our 55 plus communities, and we've got nearly 30 of them, both new construction and resale, large communities, small communities, and everything in between. So if you do find yourself potentially considering making a move, I'd love to connect with you, learn a little bit about your story, leave my phone number here on the screen, and would love to see if the greater Vegas area is for you and if we're a good fit. Also, keep in mind, not just limited to 55 plus communities. So if you do find yourself wanting to explore traditional community options, we've got many all over the Valley, and would love to help you in that discovery process. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, I would really appreciate it if you could take this time to like today's video, if you found it helpful or took something away from the video, and if you could also subscribe to my channel. Really helps the channel out, and your support means the world to me. With all that being said, let's do the fun stuff and talk a little bit about Regency. Now, Regency is one of our 55 plus communities in the South Summerlin portion of the Valley. If you'd really like to do a full deep dive on Regency at Summerlin, I will link my video down in the description box below, shared a little bit about the types of homes you find in Regency, pricing, amenities, so on and so forth. So if you are interested in learning more about the community, please feel free to check out that video. But for the sake of today's video, I'll just give you a little brief overview and then we'll dive into the pros and cons. Now, Regency at Summerlin is a 55 plus community built by Toll Brothers in the southern portion of Summerlin. There are just shy of 500 homes in the community, so if you do find yourself gravitating towards a more intimate, very nice upscale 55 plus community, could be the right option for you. So let's talk a little bit about the pros and cons to living in Regency at Summerlin. We're gonna start off on a positive note, talk a little bit about the pros. Now, the first pro I'm going to share with you is the fact that Regency is newer construction. The community closed out about a year and a half ago. So one of the nice things about this community is that you get all the bells and whistles and newer cosmetics that comes with newer construction, but community is fully built out, so you're not gonna have to deal with dust and dirt and construction for years and years to come. Community is already established, which is a really nice thing if you are exploring this community. The second pro I'm going to share with you is the fact that Regency at Summerlin is a guard-gated community. Now, if you do find yourself taking security and safety really seriously, being in a guard-gated community is definitely something you may have already talked about or considered. Definitely something to keep in mind with this community, especially if you are not here year-round or you're traveling frequently, it's a winter home, definitely something you're gonna wanna keep in mind with this community. And the third pro I'm going to share with you is the fact that Regency at Summerlin is Summerlin. Being in Regency at Summerlin, you get all the perks to living in Summerlin. You are part of Summerlin South, which means you are just minutes away from downtown Summerlin, which is the largest outdoor shopping district. We have a new Whole Foods coming to the area, along with a Starbucks Reserve. All sorts of wonderful shops and restaurants in the area. Also minutes away from the Las Vegas ballpark, the Golden Knights training facility, Red Rock Casino and Resort, and then you've got Red Rock Canyon to the west, which are all really nice amenities to have. Summerlin is Summerlin because it's beautiful and it's a master planned community. So if you like the idea of being in Summerlin, definitely something to keep in mind with this community. The fourth pro I'm going to share with you is the fact that Regency at Summerlin is our only Toll Brothers 55 plus community. Now, Toll Brothers has a large presence here in the greater Vegas area. You will find them all over the Valley, but no other Toll Brothers community is 55 plus except for Regency here in the greater Vegas Valley. So if you love the name and the reputation that you get with Toll Brothers and you like the quality of the builder, you can get all of that, but in a 55 plus community, which means you're going to get the amenities and the activities and the lifestyle that you don't necessarily get in a traditional non-55 plus community here in our valley. The fifth pro I'm going to share with you is that Regency at Summerlin is at a higher elevation point. If you're familiar with Summerlin or you've watched some of my other videos, you probably know Summerlin is at a higher elevation point than the Strip and the airport. So if you want to be above the smog a little bit and you want to be somewhere that's a little bit cooler, a little bit breezier, definitely something you're going to want to consider if you're exploring this community. And the sixth pro I'm going to share with you to living in Regency at Summerlin is the fact that because of Regency's location, the higher elevation, and where you're situated in the valley, you get really nice views in this community, whether it be mountain views or city views. If views are important to you, you'll definitely want to keep that in mind when exploring this community. You can definitely get some really beautiful views. And the seventh and final pro I'm going to share with you to living in Regency at Summerlin is that you are only 15 to 20 minutes away from the airport and the Las Vegas Strip in Regency at Summerlin. So if you do find yourself traveling frequently or you like the entertainment and cuisine that comes with the Las Vegas Strip, you are only minutes away. Definitely something you will want to keep in mind. I will share with you that if you do want to keep it more local, you've got all sorts of shops, restaurants, medical, grocery stores, not even 5 minutes away from Regency at Summerlin. So you don't necessarily have to go to the Strip to get your entertainment and cuisine. We have some really good places actually in the Summerlin area, but definitely something to keep in mind if that's important to you. All right, so now that we covered the pros, let's talk a little bit about some of the cons to living in Regency at Summerlin. Now, the first con I'm going to share with you is the fact that because Regency is one of our more upscale 55 plus communities, and because it's in the heart of Summerlin, you are going to see that reflected in the pricing. To start, most homes in Regency are selling in the upper sixes to low sevens to start, and that is going to be for their smaller scale homes. If you are exploring the larger homes in the community in the 2,000 plus square foot range, you could be venturing to the 8s, 9s, and potentially low 1 million, 1.1, 1.2 range. So if you are wanting to keep your price point below a certain number, you may want to keep that in mind if you're exploring Regency at Summerlin. The second con I'm going to share with you to living in Regency at Summerlin is the fact that this community is considered a smaller 55 plus community. Now, just shy of 500 homes is not small by any means, but compared to some of our larger Del Webb style communities with thousands and thousands and thousands of homes with multiple clubhouses, Regency at Summerlin is one of our smaller developments. So if you really like the idea of being in a community that has a golf course or has a restaurant, this is a smaller, more intimate community, and you aren't going to have those amenities. So definitely something to keep in mind. The third con I'm going to share with you is the fact that HOA fees in Regency at Summerlin are on the higher end if you're comparing Regency to some of our other 55 plus communities. Now, all in between your Summerlin South HOA and the sub HOA for Regency at Summerlin, the community itself, you are going to be paying $417 a month. Again, that might be high for some folks, especially if you are comparing it to some of our other 55 plus communities where you're only paying $100, maybe a couple $100. But this is one of our higher HOA fee communities, so definitely something to keep in mind. You are getting a guard gate for that, and you are getting all sorts of amenities right in your backyard. But if you don't like the idea of a high HOA, definitely something you're going to want to give thought. The fourth con I'm going to share with you to living in Regency at Summerlin is the fact that this community is fully built out. So if you are someone who is looking for brand new construction, or you really like the idea of the customization that comes with building a brand new home, Regency at Summerlin is fully built out. Some of the homes have never been lived in, I will share that with you, but if you do want to build from the ground up, definitely something you want to give thought if you're exploring this community. The fifth con is going to be the fact that in Regency at Summerlin, because it is newer construction, you are typically typically going to get less land than you might be used to if you're exploring some of our older, more established communities like a Sienna or a Sun City Summerlin. Because of Regency's age, you will find that for the most part, unless you are on an oversized lot, you are going to typically get less land than in some of our communities that were built in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. So definitely something to keep in mind. And the sixth and final con I'm going to share with you today is going to be that because Regency is newer construction, you are going to find that your property taxes are going to be a bit higher in this community versus some of our older, more established communities. So if that is something that's important to you, definitely something you want to give some thought to. So that kind of just scratches the surface on some of the pros and cons to living at Regency at Summerlin. There is so much more we could talk about when it comes to this community. So if you are interested in learning more about Regency at Summerlin, I will leave my phone number here on the screen. Please feel free to call me, text me, or go on my website. Would love to connect with you and learn a little bit about your story. If you decide though that Regency at Summerlin is definitely not the community for you, just keep in mind we've got several other 55 plus and traditional non-55 plus options. Love to be your one-stop shop and guide you, see if this is the place for you to call home. So with all that being said, thank you so much for taking the time to watch today's video. I hope you have a great day and I will see you next time. Bye.